Hello. It was all right, wasn't it? Manchester United 3, Sheffield United 0. Another clean sheet, another victory for Ollie's tricky Reds. I fucking love it. Ollie's at the wheel. How good does it feel? Feels good. Almost busted out the hat, but I am sober because I am driving, unfortunately. But 3-0, can't argue with that. Tony Marshall hat-trick, cannot argue with that. After he scored the first, one of the lads was like, do you reckon he scored a hat-trick? We're like, I doubt it. Well, he did. He actually fucking did. And I love the fact that 2 of them were one-touch finishes, and the third was absolutely fucking X-rated. Performance-wise, he's probably man of the match. You score a hat-trick and don't get man of the match, it's probably not right, I would say. But I want to give a quick shout-out to Matic. 8 ball recoveries, 94 out of 98 pass completion. Covered every blade of grass. Kept it ticking, was just in the right place at the right time. You don't see him making blockbusting tackles. You don't see him steaming back into position. He was just there. Right. Now we've said that. Is it dicks out for fucking Pogba and Bruno time or what? Well, I don't know how else to describe this except to say there was probably 4 or 5 times where we created a chance through literally ridiculous one-touch football. What was the shot? Was there a shot at the end that we missed? Where there was 8 in the box, where I was like, count them. Right. There was at one point where we'd knocked it around, and there was it a goal? There was 8 people in the box. 8 Sheffield United players in the box. And we one-touched around it. One-touch football is absolutely fucking lethal when you can do it at the top level. Absolutely fucking lethal. You never saw us do that under Jose. And the first few weeks of Ollie's reign, we saw that from United. And it was fucking class. And it's come back. And it's come back because Ollie's starting to mould the team into what he wants. I think one of the commenters was like, just add Sancho onto the right-hand side in this team. And you're like, oh, just felt my dick move. That's outstanding, isn't it? That is an outstanding forward line. That win there puts us 13 games unbeaten. With 9 victories in that, 4 draws. Here's the stat I like. 4-33 against 3. Plus 30 goals in 13 matches. Now that, my friends, is fucking progress. Oh, you must have played a load of shit in that time. No. How about Sheffield United, who were going for a fucking Champions League place? How about Chelsea? How about Manchester City? Tricky European ties. Yeah, Sheffield United did look shit tonight. Really looked shit. Can't fully explain why. John Egan missing for them. There's one. But that shouldn't really affect how they play. Really. I mean, it should possibly impact on how they defend. You would say maybe Dean Anderson in net saves a couple of those shots. Maybe he comes out and does something different for those attempts on goal that we had. But this was like 2 teams that are at totally different levels. This wasn't... There was at some point at 2-0 where you're like... I think I said on the stream we were doing... Last night... or was it the night before? No, it was last night, wasn't it? Tottenham. Tottenham was last night, wasn't it? I don't fucking know what day it is. And you're like, Tottenham won 2-0, I think. I mean, I watched it, but I've slept. Don't look at me like that. Tottenham won 2-0, but it was not a 2-0 performance. There was an own goal and then a breakaway goal for Kane. And you're like, all right, it's 2-0, it's 3 points, happy days. Fuck's sake. Scousers are winning. And then you've got the 2-0 at the time for United, which could have been 4 or 5-0. Should have been 4 or 5-0. Marcus gets 2 assists, but there'd be fucking a text later going like, up into the fucking shooting boots, our kid. The first one you can possibly forgive. A little bit behind him. Hope he gets something on it. If he does, he probably scores. The second one, with perhaps would have been the goal of United's season, I think, or a contender, surely. Unbelievable one-touch football around the box. Finds itself at Marcus on his right foot. No pressure. Inside the box. Fucked it. you got to be doing better than that. But it's easier to analyse where you've gone wrong in a game than when it's gone so right. That's really hard to analyse. I wanted to highlight what Matic did. Luke Shaw was also quite good going forward, although they did attack us down their right-hand side, and all of their crosses came down Luke Shaw's side. On the ball, though, it was pretty good, and he had a couple of good recoveries and some interceptions. Mason Greenwood led United's tackles and also interceptions. Comment there from J. Wayne Jackson. Remember when we couldn't break teams down? Yeah. That feels a while ago, doesn't it? I mean, not really. It was Friday. But yeah, I'm delighted. And I'm delighted that it looks like United hit a sharpness gear today, more than anything else. And I've titled this that we shouldn't lose again. I don't mean ever. Fucking Christ. I mean, the domestic season that United have got in front of us now, we should not lose. We are capable of beating. There's not a single team we should be afraid of. And the only team in the league that I actually think, if you come toe-to-toe with them, that United would probably be underdogs at the moment would be Liverpool. Manchester City, we've got the beating of. Leicester, we've got the beating of. I mean, weirdly, would Arsenal be the worst team for us to get? Because they're so shit, they'll beat us. Like, Arsenal have beaten us this season, and I don't know how, because they are dreadful. Would Arsenal... I mean, are they even in the FA Cup still? They're not, are they? I think there's only Chelsea left in the FA Cup, isn't there? City and Chelsea. I don't fear anybody in the FA Cup. United can go and win that. And United's target should be... All right, Arsenal got Sheffield United, yeah. So I actually think Arsenal could be our worst opponent in the FA Cup because, we've got the beating of Chelsea comfortably. We've got the beating of City, especially with a full team out like this. I think United will be happy days. Is it complacency against Arsenal because we think they're fucking hilarious? I don't know. I mean, they're doing their best to be the biggest comedy club in London with fucking sorting out a contract extension for David Luiz. And do you know what? If you extend his contract, cool. Maybe, is he still banned? He might even still be banned. Don't announce it while he's still banned. Well, everyone's still lukewarm from the fume at weekend about him. Give it a week. Fucking hell. Unless there was just get all the bad news out together. Insane. I don't really know what else to say on that. I'm delighted for Ollie. As we were saying earlier, Burnley was the last time we lost in the league. I thought he'd be gone within 2 games of that Burnley game. I really did. I really thought he'd be gone with it. I didn't think we was beating Spurs or City. And since that moment, we've seen him bring in Bruno, bring in Ighalo. Phenomenal signings, the pair of them. Phenomenal signings. And then we've seen him potentially keep hold of Pogba. Now, the reasons for keeping hold of Pogba might be external. They might be because nobody else wants him. Do a COVID test. I don't need COVID. It's hay fever, dickhead. I'm pleased with... we look like we've got... If you had... I mean, Matic played excellent today. That's why I had to highlight it. But if we're being real, Matic hasn't got 50 games in him. Left, probably. Not at the top level. So I would say you got to replace him, whether that's Partey, whether that's Niguez, maybe that's someone in that kind of mould. Then United would have a fucking unbelievable midfield. Unbelievable. I'm a medical doctor. Cool, me too. See how easy it is to just lie on the internet. Yeah. I think if United developed somebody else for the fitting or signed somebody else to fit in that role, we would have a fantastic midfield. The midfield is the engine room. Every title-winning team that United have had has had an absolutely stonking midfield. If you go back to them double-winning teams, that 93, 94 double-winning team, Paul Ince, Brian Robson, Roy Keane, hard midfield. Following that, treble season, Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, backups, Nicky Butt, fucking David Beckham. You know what I mean? Belting. You go to the 2008 winning team, and you're looking at still Paul Scholes. You're looking at Michael Carrick. You're looking at Owen Hargreaves. You'll never be a properly successful team with a shit midfield. And I think Bruno has been a revelation signing. And the issues with Pogba have never been ability-based. Opposition fans have got on at him all the time, and you're like, you don't know what you're fucking watching. Someone says, what if we sign Declan Rice? All right, well, I guess there's first name on the bench, I guess. I don't know. What would you sign Declan Rice to do? To hold McTominay's cock? That's the phrase, isn't it? Why would you sign Declan Rice? A strong midfield is what you need. A strong midfield is how you become champions. And I think Manchester United are getting back to being champions. Strong midfield, score some goals, sort out the defence. United are getting there. Bruno's been well better than I expected him to ever potentially be. To even close be. If one signing of that level can do that for us, we might only be a couple of signings away. You go through the league. Right, can we beat almost every team in the league? Yes, we can. We're still going to struggle with the Scousers. I think that's obvious. And they're very good at the moment. But we can probably go toe-to-toe with or have some way of beating every other team in the league. What United have to do now is get that level of consistency. Sompa says United are way off. I think you're fucking way off. We've got England, Argentina and Spain's number one. How the fuck do you fit them into a team? Right, I'm going to head over to the Patreon group and see what questions we've got coming up in there from them fellas. I do apologise. As you know, we had a flood in the office and they only cleaned it up and they came to clean up the water that I was sitting in all around me in the middle of the preview. So we had to cut the preview short to let them clean up the water. So I do apologise for that. Here we go. Review questions. Gordon says, not because he scored a hat-trick today, but is this a natural progression for Marshall's development playing up top regularly? What I thought he did well, and only at points as well, because there was points where he wasn't there, but he was in the box more. And I know that seems like such simple, like, oh, your striker was in the box, yeah. But often that's the issue with Tony Marshall, and it was an issue with Wayne Rooney at times. Like, you'd try and put something into the box. Well, where the fuck? Why are you over there? Your strikers have to be in the box. There has to be somebody in the box when you're putting the ball in. You get that, and you're going to get goals. The fact that they were one-touch finishes and he put them away, can't fault that. Do you know what I've been saying? I want United to score scruffy, stupid, easy, one-touch finish goals. That's the sort of goal that Raheem Sterling gets 30 of in a year and everyone wanks off him saying he's the third best player in the world. He gets them chances, puts them on a plate. Not for fucking years as a United striker had chances put to him on a plate and then had the opportunity to bury him. So I'm more pleased that we're creating that chance than anything else. Who are the best midfield in the duo in the world, and why is it Bruno and Pogba? They're not bad at it. I don't know if it's quite on the Cleverley and Anderson levels yet, because let's remember they did win a title. And clearly, according to Graham Souness, you've got to put your medals on the table. But obviously means that they're levels above Steven Gerrard. Should Martial be our main striker for years to come? I don't think it's that simple, and I think Ollie clearly does want something else. I mean, the fact that we're constantly linked to different types of striker tells me more than any words could, although I'm sure he's gushed over him today. Are we winning the treble next year with Sancho added to the lineup? Would he be enough? I think actually Sancho could be enough on his own. And I know that's a bold statement, but the reasons for saying it is United we saw it so often today. Wan-Bissaka gets the ball. There's no other United player around him. There's certainly no right winger near him. Mason's still a forward in his head, and he's like, I'm getting in the box in a minute. An actual wide winger out there pulling defenders away makes it easier for our guy in the box, and that might be enough. We've got a good defence. Maybe the goalkeeper's the bit that needs upgrading. What we always say about Weakest link? Do I think just having more creative players in the side, such as Bruno and Pogba, is going to get the best of Martial, and the lack of creativity being the reason he struggled with forms? Yeah, it's the meat that feeds the sausage, fellas. You got to have the opportunities to score. Chances create shots. Shots create goals. If you don't have chances, you don't have shots, and you don't have goals. The more chances you get, like, I'll use Sterling as an example again. Sterling in this United team wouldn't quite be Andreas Pereira levels of derided, but he's quite wasteful. Considering where he shoots from generally, which is about fucking 15 yard out. Usually to just a keeper. Where our players strike from, generally, I don't like it. I think it's a bit too far out. We make them too difficult. The quality of chances that you get at Manchester City are infinitely better to the quality of chances that you get at United. And I know there's no real way to measure that. Expected goals is one way, but you can't really compare the like-for-like goal tallies. It's almost the same as we keep saying, what's the exchange rate of a goal in Bundesliga versus a goal in the Premier League? Well, some teams create systematic goals very frequently, and Manchester City are excellent at that. That allows them to do that. I mean, these Scouse twats here that are on the telly now, if you look at how they score, a lot of the time, is Van Dijk just amazing at set pieces? No, I mean, he's a good header of the ball, but they've found a system which works with the way Trent crosses and the way Van Dijk can usually outjump his marker. That's a way to score goals, and they've pounced on that, and they've made that a very effective weapon for them. To the point where actually now you're going to try and double mark Van Dijk, and you'll probably leave somebody else free. It's all about trying to find what works for you as a team. City have found what works for them as a team. Generally, the movement of Raheem Sterling is very hard to track because laterally he's fucking ridiculous. And he gets into some phenomenal spaces. What lets him down, if he had the finishing of a Mane or a probably Martial or probably Aguero, he'd score a fucking gazillion goals. But he's a bit short on that. Do us a favour. Like the video. I've got a very special thing coming up for you guys in a minute as well, which I definitely need you to action. We have got the link in the description, haven't we, Cameron? Do you think the empty stadiums help someone like Mason, who is still getting used to playing in packed stadiums? Maybe. He might be someone who needs that adrenaline kick, though. Maybe. To play against the level of player that he's playing against now. Nico, do we bring Williams in for Brighton after we played the under-23s in the Cup? Are we playing the under-23s in the Cup? I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. It's an opportunity to win a trophy. I think we go for it. Incredible performance, and hate to be a bit of a pessimist, but Shaw still has the same problems. In the second half, he was lively, but largely because he had little defensive responsibility, so he committed himself going forward. Do I notice the same thing, or am I being too critical? I'm not his biggest fan there, for several reasons. And I do think you can improve upon what happens in the final third still from him. I think he had a cross today, but you don't often see him doing anything to that pocket at the side of the goal, do you? When should we expect to see our Lord and Saviour Andreas start over his fellow countryman Bruno? We was joking on the stream, do you think he'd be like, fucking, am I playing? You know? Wasn't it great seeing 3 goals from in around the 6-yard box? Exactly what I was saying. Greenwood looks like a first-team player, confident and composed. Easy to forget how young he is when he's playing. Am I right? Yeah, you're right. What I liked was his defensive output today. His defensive output was fucking on top. Interceptions, tackles, pressing, brilliant. And he's definitely beefcaked, hasn't he? Is Matic a perfect fit for playing with Pogba and Bruno? Seems confident playing the anchor. Again, is that where Saul comes in? Younger, fresher legs. Like Matic, we saw when he was running to the ground with Mourinho, when he falls off hard. Does Graham Souness have the potential to be a top pundit if he just tries harder? Seriously, he's got some nerve to make that comment about Martial after most half-arsed punditry I've ever seen. He says some wild-ass shit. Who did he dig out yesterday? Dean Henderson. I think it was yesterday or today. He says he's a big-time Charlie. Okay. 1, he didn't play today. 2, what the fuck are you basing that on? How can you not just be... Why does no one else be like... Graham, was that a lot of old bollocks that you just said? Does Luke Shaw not know what an overlap is? I think he does, but it's a different thing. Should United prioritise signing a more defensive-minded midfielder to play with Bruno and Pogba over someone like Grealish? I would say yes. Clearly, Ollie thinks not. If he's into Kai Havertz, he's into Grealish. Who else have we been linked to, number 10-wise? Maddison. That's gone quiet. I think that's off. Van der Beek. Yeah, I think that he probably... I wonder if there's a diamond in there. There's something going on in there. It might just be a plan B, but there's definitely something. Is how narrow Shaw plays tactical? Can't see Ollie not correcting it. If not, he is also on the far side for at least half the game, isn't he? But yeah, I don't like how narrow he is. This is one of my fundamental issues with him. Should Ollie have made subs earlier? I mean, say some guys look dead on their feet. He was clearly waiting for the 3-0 when the game was won, and then he made 5 and took half the team off, literally. So I think so. What happened to playing badly against low blocks to probable world-class midfielders is what happened, I think. Smashed it. Dot Shaw put in a good shift tonight, says Ruben. Third goal was an absolute delight, and Ollie's performance team starting to take shape. Solid performance. We look like we're short of someone more seasoned on the right, I agree. Mason at 18 looks generational. What do I think of the interchange in front three at times today? I didn't think they interchanged as much as they could have done, but I guess for the first goal, Marcus is all the way on the right-hand side, isn't he? So yeah, you're going to have to put that telly back on for us before we do this video. It's just about to turn off. Did Greenwood prove today that he needs to be starting regular? I think his management's been fine so far. I don't think you can complain. The way he's come in has been mint. Can we talk about that Pogba move on the edge of the box? Oh, there was a couple, wasn't there? I think he was just dancing through players. A confident Paul Pogba with world-class players around him, runners, and someone like Bruno, who's probably on the same mental wavelength as him. Yeah. Blake says, should I keep my pants off? If so, for how long? At least until the pub's open. There is a policy against having your wang out. I think that's new. Is that new? That's new, isn't it? Feels new. It's a COVID thing. There was so much toxicity towards Ollie when we lost at home to Burnley just 7 league games ago. 7 league games ago, but about half a year ago. Amazing how much difference only 2 midfielders make. How much does that prove that we need to keep being patient and have more faith with Ollie's vision? I thought it was clear from very early on with Ollie that reign wasn't new manager bounce. New manager bounce doesn't exist. It's a myth. Otherwise, Arsenal are probably still in theirs, I think. Ollie gets it and gets the right thing. Recruitment's the most important thing, and it always has been. Are we mint or are we mint? We're mint. When was the last time I felt this confident getting a result in the league? 2009. Reckon Wan-Bissaka has been working on his attacking play over lockdown. I think Joe mentioned it was almost like a tackle the way he managed to get his toe on the end of that and get a cross in. Maybe. What do I think the key was to being able to sustain our attack so well today? World-class midfield. Although he missed a few chances there, how impressed with Rashford's range of passing. Yeah, it's an attribute we don't usually associate, but it was phenomenal today. I think his movement off the ball was top as well. When the TV zooms out, you really see how often he's just making runs and keeping defenders occupied and busy, and I'm a big fan of people who do that. Do you think the drink break should be situational if the temperature reaches a certain figure? Today it was justified. Yeah, Friday was a piss take. I thought it killed the momentum, and Sheffield United actually got on top in the game for their only period following that water break. First hat-trick since Van Persie against Villa. Is that the last hat-trick? You say Zlatan got one in the league. Got it. I think Marshall's finally put a stamp on the number 9 position. I don't think one game constitutes that. No, phenomenal today, but it's all about being consistent, isn't it? And he's good enough to do it, but I the gut feeling I've had all season hasn't gone away because he put some goals away today. The gut feeling is I think Ollie wants a more physical number 9. Can Anthony prove us wrong and be the striker Ollie wants for this team? Same answer. With Ollie making the subs when he did, do I expect a heavily rotated side against Norwich? I think no. I think it's strong against Norwich. You can get the job done very early against Norwich, or you can pile on pressure against yourself and fuck it up by Liverpool's 2-0. You can fuck it up by maybe not taking it as serious as you should and messing it up that way, which we're definitely capable of doing. Yes, Matic deserves the praise. Why is Ollie persisting with Shaw? Don't know. But I'd rather be a Scouse or City supporter or an Arsenal supporter. None. At all. How mint was it seeing Pogba not have to do everything for us? I think you said it or Joe said it on the stream. Wonder if he's like, it's alright, this. Do you think United could be the biggest benefiters of the suspension of the league due to the corona, given how the wheels came off in the last month of the season last year because of lack of fitness and stamina? Yes and no. I think we was in a great run of form, and I think we may have continued that going through. We might have rushed Pogba back. We might have rushed Marcus back, and maybe giving them a little bit of extra time might have been the one. Does Luke Shaw want to be centre mid? He offers no width for a fullback. Why, when we have the quality now in midfield, would we not stretch the play by having Williams leaving more space for Pogba and Bruno, etc.? Don't know. At what point did the pants come off? I'm not wearing it. Who in the starting lineup would you take out and replace with either Sancho or Grealish? Green would be all right, rotated in and used as a 9, actually, for half an hour here and there, 60 minutes here and there. Sancho's obviously going to start. Grealish, I don't know. I really don't know how you fit that into the team. That's the one. And that's a belting username, by the way. It says Cam is, and it ends in did. Right. Hey, like the video. It's 5,000 people watching. Not even 1,000 likes. Like, and I have got a video for you. You ready? Like the video. Like this video, and I'll show you the video that I've got to play you. Let's get it over 1,000. Right. We have started our own football team. We are officially a Saturday League team that's trying to get into the English football pyramid. That means playing in things like the FA Cup. You might have heard of it. We're taking this very fucking seriously. This is not a pub league. This is not a social kick around. We're very fucking serious about what we're doing, and we are looking for some fucking good players. Here's a little teaser. Like I said, if you are a fucking top player, you've got aspirations of playing elite non-league football, you've just left an academy, your mate's just left an academy a couple of years ago maybe, or you think you can handle getting into something like the Northwest Counties or even somewhere like the Northern Premier League, that's where we have aspirations of going. If you've ever gone, I think I'm fucking good enough to play, obviously the early rounds, the qualifying rounds of the FA Cup, then we want to see you. We're holding a trial, which has been penciled in for the 1st of August, but there's only a limited number of places. There's a link in the description. If you're interested in the trial, you have to be local. I've had people from literally every fucking country in the world, and you're just getting deleted. You have to be local. We're going to be training 3 or 4 times a week, so you have to be able to have that level of commitment, and you have to be a fucking good player. Fill out the experience section on the form in as much detail as possible, and hopefully we'll get you in for a trial. There's only going to be 100 invited to the trial, and we might have to verify some people's applications. But if you are interested, if you'd like to play for Stretford Paddock FC, we are going for it. We are fucking absolutely having it. So if you're interested, let us know. We're fucking going for it. So if you want, hit the link in the description. And we'll see you soon. But it's all fucking flying. We are all systems go. I'm expecting somewhere around September, maybe October, for the league to start. Hoping pre-season starts in August. We've already started our pre-season. So there you go. If you're interested, hit the link in the description and come and get involved. But cheers for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the game tonight. 5 things we learned. As always, we'll be out tomorrow. And we'll see you in the next one. Laters.